when we bought the property, we designated an acre through the purchase at Weyerhaeuser for a home site. And that was just sort of in general terms. But if you're familiar with this property, once you get at least a little bit familiar with this property, there's one logical site for a home site on this property. So we generally knew where we wanted it, and then we spent a fair amount of time camped out down here. And we would come down on weekends, and we had our tent platform, and eventually we built a shed, and that helped us get a feel for where we want the house to be and how to deal with the slope and where should the driveway come in. And you know, you walk around with tape and you mark trees, and if it comes in this way, then this tree will have to go out. And so it was we did that for a while. I mean, it was a couple of years before we got serious about building.
When we got closer to actual site prep, then we started worrying about orientation. Are we facing south? Should we face north? There were all these decisions, and yeah, I mean, sticking sticks in the ground and watching
a lot of tape,
watching shadows and going, uh-oh, is that going to be too much sun, or and then decisions because. How many trees do you take out? You know, and I mean, some of it is mandated by insurance or the builder that they have trees out, but you know, do you stop there? Do you take out more trees? So we wanted to keep the house fairly narrow because of that, because of the nature of the site. And then it was Brian who suggested that we put some sort of bend in the house, there again to kind of follow the slope of the property. So with that general idea in mind, the way we selected a home site is I sat on the internet and looked at house plans. I mean, you could go to the library or you can go to the bookstore and pick up plan books, but it was just as easy to, you know, just go online and start thumbing through plans.
The one we chose, I think what appealed to us was his familiarity with the area. I mean, he knew the rules out here and he knew the restrictions and what had to be get done. It was the flexibility. It was an easy guy to deal with. And he had a reputation out here because he had built other houses. And so we felt comfortable with him. The biggest thing that we did to customize this house to our needs, especially as it relates to forestry and the outdoor stuff that we do, was our mudroom in our garage. Because they're the right size and they have the right things in there so we don't have to make a mess of the house. You know, we can come in there and get cleaned up and take the boots off and not affect the rest of the house. I think that was the biggest thing with respect to how this house is customized for this property.
I would also say too, I mean, we made sure we had windows on all sides of the house. I mean, if you look at a track house, and even out here in the Forest Reserve, I can see people who took what was designed as a tract house and they build it out here, and you can tell by the windows. Yeah. But I mean, we made a point of saying, wait, we don't have neighbors. We can have windows on all four sides of the house.